Welcome back, everybody, to the Analyst Desk here at the July Mid Invitational Tournament here at XLNC Esports. I'm Paul, joined alongside Smacks, and we're stoked to break down this last game, and we had some real good action.
Yeah, we really did. That was a banger of a game too there. We got some assassin picks coming out from Ironic, and we got just a classic beat 'em up team fight competition here for World Class. And well, the team fights happened, and the team fight competition won. So yeah, I'm not too surprised with that outcome here. World Class Outlaws really drafted quite well for themselves as Cassiopeia popped off so hard for Chrismeister here. Very impressed.
Yeah, and I think the bulk of our time backstage was debating whether or not the Kane build was a real thing. Turns out it was. The bulk of it, let's not kid anyone. Most of our time we spent yelling and screaming behind the scenes about it. It's a real thing. A Korean streamer did it. It's been picked up, the burst through the queue, but not really able to land that there, and ultimately, it just didn't benefit a whole lot of things. And like you touched on, playing into a Lulu, not a fun time.
Yeah, Lulu is just a very, very strong champion against these assassin type champions like the Kane, like the Katarina. Lulu just makes those champions so sad. You got the polymorph as soon as they hop on in. You got the wild growth to knock them up and give their target so much health. And on top of that, she's got this giant shield too. So yeah, really not a fun time to be playing these assassins against Shot's Lulu. And speaking of Shot, he's going to be moving forward alongside the rest of World Class Outlaws to this third and final game here. They are going to meet our victors of the first game in the finals as well. Glaive White, congratulations to them. On the other stream, they did pick up that win as well. It's going to be our finals matchup.
Yeah, they had a commanding victory. And speaking of commanding, Chrismeister in that last game, that Cassiopeia, that triple kill pretty early on, and then after that, just really wrecking havoc in the Dragon Pits. And
Yeah.
if you're going into this finals, they have to, World Class has to know, or excuse me, Glaive has to know to ban that. If they allow that again, I think they're gonna, right? You think they look to play through Chris again?
Yeah, I would definitely imagine so. I think Ashe is going to be a really hotly contested pick. Both of these teams have won on the champion in the last two games that we've seen on stream. If Ashe gets through, very well could be 100% win rate champion over here on the main stream. So yeah, I would not be too surprised if that champion was really high priority. I wouldn't be too surprised if they did ban out Chrismeister. 13 kills on the Cassiopeia is nothing to sneeze at here. And speaking of mid laners, I believe the Orianna was picked again for Stro, so maybe that one is going to be highly contested as well. Might have to ban that champion away alongside this Volibear, which Glaive did pick again. They've picked both of those two champions in both games.
Yeah, I think the bans are going to be really interesting. If both teams are actually going to be able to play what they've been running for the night, or if they're going to have to make a lot of change-ups. I mean, we saw in that last game too. You talked about, and we talked about it too in the back, about how Kalista and Ashe, not a great time. We've seen the Kalista a bunch so far tonight. Maybe we'll see the return of it with the Ashe ban, but and we also saw the Graves and Kane. But I think a lot of these are going to have to change things up.
Yeah, I definitely would imagine so. We are getting word from producer Finnick here that these two teams actually met in UJL playoffs yesterday, and World Class actually won that matchup. Oh, never mind. It was Glaive Black. Never mind. Forget that. But that is still a pretty impressive here for World Class. They did take down the sister team for Glaive Black. So yeah, that's definitely still something to know here. Maybe White can get revenge on them in the finals. Demon has looked very, very solid. He did pick Sejuani in that game too. He had the Volibear in game one, so maybe he's going to be playing another tank with a lot of crowd control here. So I've been pretty impressed with Demon's play. Maybe he can kick it in gear for them in this third and final game.
And we saw from World Class, right? We saw this really strong team fighting. They're just able to dominate the Dragon Pit. Glaive White, we saw in the first game, a lot of ability to dive towers early on. So we're gonna get sort of this clash of strategy where Glaive White can really look to push the action early, but if they let World Class let that team fight develop, let the action come to them and play it front to back, if they get the opportunity with an Ashe or with something like that, they can really dominate that mid to late game.
Right, and it's worth noting that in that last game, World Class did pick up all of the 4 Drakes on the map. It's not something that we really talked about too much because it was a Cloud Soul after all, the weakest of all the souls. But that is not to say that they weren't dominant in that area of the map, like you just mentioned. So maybe Glaive White are going to have to take note of that and start attacking that Drake here, as you do not want to have that same thing happen when World Class get all 4 Drakes, but maybe like another more powerful soul is in effect like the Infernal. So that's not going to be pretty for Glaive.
No, it's not. But what is going to be pretty is the two faces coming up on stream next. I mean, you won't see them, but you hear their pretty voices here. We got World Class Outlaws and Glaive White coming at you here with Axeman 87 and Finks. So we'll pass it off to them. Enjoy the finals.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the XLNC Midweight Testing Grounds July Invitational Finals. I'm Finnick, joined by Axeman87. We're getting ready to go. It's game number 3. It's the finals for the night. That was Smacks and Paul. Axeman, how are we doing as we get into these picks and bans? Hello, everybody, and welcome to the XLNC Midweight Invitational. My name is Finnick. Once again, I forgot to unmute myself in the Discord call, so Axeman, how are we doing? How are we feeling going into these picks and bans?
I'm doing just fine. Hopefully, I unmuted myself in the Discord call. I haven't checked yet, but maybe no one can hear me right now. I could say anything. I really hope Finnick's having a good day.
We can hear you.
Anyway, oh, you can? Okay, good. So it's World Class Esports. It's a Glaive White. And we already into the pro draft here, folks, but the ban phase is already over. The first one, anyway. And there's a whole lot of meta bans coming out here. World Class has Graves taken away from them, along with Ashe and Syndra. So Reals won't have Graves this game.
Yeah, and on top of that, Ashe being get away, neither team has Ashe, but Aphelios left up. Going to be first picked by World Class Outlaws. Probably will be paired with the Lulu, as they did play Lulu Ashe in the previous game. Kalista being picked up by Glaive White. Are we going to get somehow a salty run back, even though Glaive White wasn't even in the last game? Is that what I'm seeing?
I definitely could be, and to be honest, I'm not really sure Kalista was the issue with Ironic's comp. I think those watching at home know the issue I had with Ironic's comp. It wasn't Kalista. It wasn't the Braum. We had the flex pit from Set coming through here for Glaive. This is a great second pick, I think. It's so many different applications, right? This could be the jungler support. This would be a fantastic support, I think, for Kalista, actually. What better champion to drop on the enemy team with ultimate than a Set? That is very spooky indeed. But the Braum picked away here. That won't be an option if indeed Set is not going support for Glaive.
I'm interested to see why they opted for the Braum here instead of the Lulu. I feel like they're maybe baiting themselves. So they think Kalista's going to want to go for the Braum, so we can pick that one away. But now you're up against, like, Lulu is the best support for Aphelios right now, and she was still available, so I'm not 100% sure about that. World Class Outlaw is going to pick up the Kennen blind in the top lane. This is something I have not seen for almost a year now.
Yeah, don't see too many Kennens. That is for sure. But we are going to be seeing the Kennen now for World Class. Could be going top lane. Seen it mid a couple times now, but I would still say Kennen top lane is probably the most played role for him. That said, much like you, haven't seen.
Oh, this is the Dibble Vladimir game. This is the Dibble Vladimir game. Oh no. So for the record, I was not entirely incorrect in telling our analyst desk that Glaive played World Class yesterday in UJL playoffs. World Class beat Glaive Black, but Dibble and Demon are the top end jungle for Glaive Black. They're just subbing in for Glaive White here. So, yeah, this is a little bit of a grudge match. Vladimir is a Dibble special, so I'm interested to see how well that one plays into the Kennen. I don't think of it typically as like a great matchup, but then again, Vladimir doesn't really win too many lanes, and neither does Kennen. So this will be a fun one. You do need to have setup for your Vladimir in fights. I almost expect to see a Jarvan being picked up in the jungle here for Glaive White, and then saving that Set flex pick, because technically Vladimir can go mid to reveal into R5 here. But yeah, what are your thoughts here with this Vlad?
You know, I'm kind of looking back and forth that these are the top laners, Kennen and Vlad. It just kind of seems to me that Vlad in a lot of ways is just a better Kennen. Kind of like everything Kennen does, but just also heals on top of it. Not as much CC, but Kennen literally has one source of CC with a passive. So
I was
you
right.
know, it's not like a huge issue here. You were right. J4 coming through. It's a competent combo.
Let's go.
You got
Let's go.
the
Please.
I don't know what do we call this one? Cataclysm and pool. What is this, like a
I don't
blood
know.
bowl or something? I don't know.
Probably
Bloodbath?
Blood Bowl, but you know what I see? I see Anivia. That Vladimir, it has to go top lane now because it's the only matchup that Anivia wins in lane. Oh my god. I'm loving these picks.
Sure.
I'm loving these picks. My Anivia one trick is happy.
Oh, Rek'Sai. Okay, now I love the picks. If Rek'Sai comes through, that'll be fun. But I especially like Rek'Sai and a J4. I think that's a really solid pick there. But yeah, Vladimir probably going top now. Ooh,
Yeah.
Wazir coming through for Glaive.
Yeah, so set support.
All right. Okay.
So farming simulator in both solo lanes. How are we feeling about these team comps as we start to move into the in-game draft?
There is so much power here, as is evident normally in late game compositions. You have this Zir stacked on top of Vladimir, just a ton of magic damage coming through. But also, like you mentioned, Anivia and Kennen as well. Lots of late game power there, but yeah, so strong here. To be honest, for me, it just goes to Glaive fairly easily. I mean, Vladimir and Azir just are like leaps and bounds ahead in terms of like meta strength than Kennen and Anivia. We both mentioned we haven't seen Kennen in like a season or two. And while you like the Anivia pick, which I could respect, it just doesn't hold a candle to the other mid lane bird.
It's a Chris
Azir.
Meister special, though. It was bad against him in the last 2 games.
I just don't. I mean, I'm sure it's great. I'm sure it's awesome. Azir is probably just gonna totally pop off this game. Where world class I think does kind of come back is in the bot side of the map with the Aphelios Braum and also the Rek'Sai. I really like the Rek'Sai pick here.
You could literally put the Anivia top lane though, and then just swap your Kennen mid, and just have Chris Meister play the Anivia top. Because let's talk about this a little bit. Because Anivia and Vlad are both specialty picks here. Chris Meister very good on Anivia. We've seen that before in the midweight testing grounds series prior. Dibble, meanwhile, I only know this because I casted an invitational tournament for Glaive, and I've seen him play this before. Very good on Vladimir. Obviously, this is one of those picks where if you're really good on this champion, especially when you have it in combination with a lot of lockdown or a lot of potential to set up for flanks like the Jarvan on your team, it becomes a very, very strong champion. However, once again, there's one thing Vladimir hates more than anything else, and that is terrain generation on the enemy team. This Anivia pick from Chris Meister, I will always say Anivia has no winning lanes. The exception is the Vladimir lane. If they opt to lane swap here, this is actually really, really good for world class. That's my only exception to your harking on Anivia and Kennen, mainly because I'm an Anivia one trick and I have to speak up for my burb. That said, you're definitely correct with the Azir and Vladimir. They are both very strong, both very meta right now. Jungle picks, though, Rek'Sai and Jarvan, I like both of these for their respective team comps.
Definitely, and they're very similar champions again as well. So, but kind of a mirror matchup going through here. Maybe I'm going to catch 8% Rek'Sai is the same champion as J4. I don't know yet, but we'll have to see. But, you know, a lot of target access on ultimate, a lot of target access on the E, and, you know, tons of CC potential early in the game, bringing the damage as well. A lot of that depends on itemization. These are all things the two junglers have in common right now. Where I would say they kind of differ a little bit is that Reels is playing a champion with a little bit more objective control, and J4 is a little bit more gank heavy. So we could see that play out in different ways. Of course, gank prowess translates directly into objective control with the right gank. So it's not like Demon is at a huge disadvantage here or anything like that. But as we've seen in last game, Real's able to pick up a bunch of dragons, rolling that into a victory. It's a very popular win condition to literally just sit bot side and take all of the dragons.
Yeah, and on top of that, right, you have a Jarvan who is fairly good at this early game, but as you said, Rek'Sai is going to be able to out-gank, but Jarvan has a better level 2. So if Jarvan decides to go for level 2 gank on the Anivia, or on bot lane and go for a level 2 cheese and try to get a flash, this can be a way to put the Rek'Sai behind early, or at least help the Jarvan not fall as far behind as far as gank pattern goes. Moving on to the bot lane, though, we have this Aphelios Braum setup versus this Kalista set.
Definitely. So Kalista set, pretty dangerous. I think you have the set dropped on you and you're going to have a very bad day. But Aphelios, in my mind, I'm still nuts. Obviously nerfed a little bit. But if you can get the right guns in the right scenario, Aphelios could get nerfed 10 more times and still be nuts. And with Braum as well, being able to protect him a little bit is going to be incredibly huge for them. So yeah, Kathy and Shad, I think still real big in my mind. This is the first time we're gonna see 2 diamonds on one team. I think Kathy and Toast, both in D4, so they are going to be shooting off their fireworks down the bot lane. It's going to be a barn burner here, Finnick.
I mean, especially when you have so much scaling on both of these teams, like your only early to mid game damage is this Rek'Sai and this Jarvan. Everything else is late game. You have Anivia who spikes on 3 items. You have Azir who spikes on 2 items. Kalista spikes on 2 items. Aphelios spikes on 2 items. Kennen on 2. Vladimir on 3. Like, you are looking at a 40-minute game no matter what. Just because outside of some gags, some objective takes, like, you're not going to see much more than farm simulator going on in any of these lanes. But perhaps I'm wrong. What are your thoughts?
I have to agree. The lanes pretty much just farm simulators. Everybody very late game. Where the real fireworks are going to be are just kind of the jungle ganks, whatever is happening in the jungle. And that is why, once again, I think I'm pretty much just going to be looking out for what's going on in the jungle. There is a potential for a little bit to happen in these solo lanes. You have that CC coming through from Anivia, which could be huge. CC from Canada as well could play into a gank or something like that, where you could get a fairly heavy trade in the early game. But other than that, I think we're pretty much just going for a snooze fest the first 10-15 minutes of this game.
I mean, unless the Anivia goes in the top lane, in which case this is actually a losing lane for Vlad, which is kind of funny because Vlad has no losing lanes and Anivia has no winning lanes, but when they're up against each other, I'm sorry, I just love Anivia too much. I gotta go on the rambling. Regardless, I'm interested to see how this game will develop in that mid to late game, especially around objectives. Early game objective control is going to be very important going into that mid game, especially once your Aphelios gets to 2 items, once your Azir gets to 2 items, once your Anivia is on 1.5 items, right? And these objectives just start melting, like they're here and gone in 3 seconds. Those will be flashpoints for conflict. We're getting into the game now through the loading screen. Anything else you might want to see from either of these teams?
Things I like to see. Oh man. No, I don't really think so. I think the biggest thing for Demon, and we already saw him do this in game 1, is stay disciplined with the build path. J4 is a champion that's easy to kind of trick yourself into thinking you can hard carry because he does so much damage from a base level in the early game. You don't want to go for things like, and he already hasn't taken Electrocute, Ghost or Conqueror here. You don't want to go for Warrior Enchant. You don't want to go for lethality. It's a trap. Don't do it. Take Center Hulk, tank up, keep providing the utility for your team, and you will do damage. You have high base damages. So, and I definitely believe Demon is capable of that. He did it very well in game 1.
Yeah, and we are very quick load screen in Electrocute on Christmeister on the Anivia here as we are just about into the game. Outside of that, nothing too interesting as far as runes go. Honeystone actually on Orion.
There is something very interesting here. You got Phase Rush on the Rek'Sai, and this is fun. I like this. I don't think it's meta for Rek'Sai right now. I'm pretty sure Hail of Blades is still the thing, but I haven't checked in a while, so maybe I'm wrong. But I have played Phase Rush Rek'Sai, and it is a lot of fun. Your target access goes like through the roof. Suddenly nobody can escape you anymore, and your ganks get real fun. You do lose a lot of damage from the Hail of Blades, though. It is kind of unfortunate that you don't get those big sets of Qs right at the front end there. So things like dives get a little bit harder for you because you're in a situation when the enemy isn't really trying to escape anywhere. So we'll see if this changes anything.
The counter invade gets avoided. They went for the Tribrush gank, and now Glaive, not knowing where World Class is, they're gonna invade on the same side of the map and just not realize it.
It's not even invade. Oh, they're gonna run into each other.
No! The back's already coming out. Toast stopping his Mossy Standard over the wall.
They're on the wrong side.
Everyone's on the wrong side, but the inside track's over. He's able to get the 3-man facebreaker. Freshburger forced to flash out of the way. Stun lands onto Orion, but they're on the wrong side of this. They need to find a way out. And Mossy Standard over doesn't have the drag. Should be the back coming out from World Class. That could have been really hairy.
Oh yeah. This is best case scenario, I think, for both sides. That was nuts. You don't see too many of those folks, but Real's just kind of no leash, just starting up this blue buff. Gonna be a slow clear for them. But to their credit, Demon has... Ooh, Stro might be going down here.
Azir stun after the Anivia stun. Feels good, but the soldier should come up. Demon has level 2. Has to be careful. Chris Meister not caught in the flag and drag. Here comes a stun from the Anivia Braum. Demon should be able to make his way out. Not able to get any summoners. The only sum blown that fight was Freshburger in the top lane. But he's able to back. He's not too punished for that one, unless Demon goes in for the level 3 up there. But since he's pathing towards bottom side, Freshburger should have flash up the next time Demon tries to gank top. Now, we missed team intros, so now's a better time than... Now it's just as good as any other time to do them. On the blue side, of course, it's world-class Outlaws, WL Freshburger on the top lane, Reels in the jungle, Chris Meister in the mid lane, Carthy in the AD carry position, and Shot in support.
Over on the red side, it's Glaive Esports White up in the top lane. It's Glaive Dibble in the jungle position. It's Glaive Demon in the mid lane. It's Stro on Azir down the bot lane. It's Toast on Callista. And in the support position is Orion on Set. Set, having blown Flash in the first fight, is now just left with Hex Flash, but still a lot of options left there for him. Gang in the mid lane.
On a Stro. Gonna get this shuffle down. Flash knock up. Flash from Stro. Gets walled down. Here comes Chris Meister. Just needs to get a Q, but he's just waiting on it. One auto will do it, and Chris Meister pops first blood and gets some mana from it too.
Yeah, and I'll tell you right now, this gank doesn't happen, doesn't have the level of success it does if Reels doesn't have Phase Rush. He just stuck directly to Stro for that entire gank. And now Freshburger doing a lot of damage to Dibble. Of course, this is Vladimir to be able to heal out some of that, but yeah, to be honest, the Phase Rush, it's probably going to work well for them. Oh, here we go. Here's the pool. It's not going to get him out of it, though.
Oh, but the knockup at the perfect time! Dibble flashes out. Reels, my man!
Yeah, that was close. It was real close there, but also Dibble on Ghost. Not sure if we talked about that, but does have Flash Ghost, Phase Rush. We see this in Vladimir's a little bit more. It's kind of the type of deal when you're thinking, I'm just going to scale no matter what. So, Dibble taking a lot of damage from this cannon so far. And Reels is still up in the top side of the map here, Finnick. You might be going down and might be looking for a dive.
Yeah, you got to be very careful. The invade already happening from the Rex side is Jarvan. Looks for the same, but doesn't actually go for the Krugs. So that does advantage Reels at the moment. Demon still has his blue side to take, though, so that feels fun. And interestingly, Reels doesn't complete Krugs. Just says, I'm gonna take most of them and just not let them respawn. That is some that is some Dota level mechanics right there. I'll have to say.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Someone put a ward on the creeps, or put a ward on jungle creeps. Observer ward.
Definitely. Stro.
Yikes! The knockup back! Stro not able to shuffle out, wall down. Chris Meister looking for the Q, won't quite go for it quite yet as Demon is here. Trying to find the re-engage. Real stuff.
Oh, I don't know about this tunnel.
Flag, drag, and Stro picks up the kill. Real's just in the wrong place at the wrong time there to end the gank.
Yeah, I'll say, I don't know about that last tunnel. That was pretty strange. Maybe misclick, but definitely not what you want there. Going back towards the enemy base, not great way to escape anything. But now it's going to be Glaive Demon, and he is taking the vision here. Might just start the dragon. Nope, gonna go mid lane instead. He's looking for Chrismeister.
Anivia has
But
level
who's looking
6,
for
though.
who?
Here comes the Flag and Drag, but he's not able to get the knock up. Anivia will all down, as well as the ultimate gets a nice little knock up. Here comes the Emperor's Divide. And Reels not gonna go down to that one. Ults used from the Azir in the mid lane. As Anivia has hit her level 6, should be able to equalize a lot of the pressure that Azir gets early and start building into a Rod of Ages.
Definitely starting to scale up a little bit on the frozen bird thing, Anivia there, and Stro and Demon.
Oh my god.
Yeah, something like that. Whatever lore. But now they're looking for the dragon. This is an early Infernal Dragon. We get a little bit of extra damage in the early game, but no Infernal Soul, which is a shame. They'll be taking us down uncontested in just a little bit here. Dragon goes down. Next dragon's gonna be Cloud, so no Cloud Soul this game. And I think somebody said maybe on the analyst deck that the Cloud Soul is the weakest soul. Hard disagree. Gotta get that mana up. Gotta get that movement speed. I love the movement speed.
I hard agree there. I mean, when Ocean Soul is as good as it is, same with Mountain Soul, like, you're asking for more burst damage or a little bit of extra movement speed. I will say it's good on some champions. It's very good on some champions, but I think it is the most... It's not the weakest, it's just the most niche soul.
Definitely, yeah, and it's also unquantifiable too, right? So if I'm gonna say, hey, this is the strongest soul, here's why, and give you stats, that's a great argument, but you know, quantifying things like ult CDR and movement speed is much more difficult because it goes case by case, and then how do you really quantify movement speed as an advantage outside of, like, you know, very obvious circumstances? But yeah, anyway, I like Cloud Soul. I think it's great, but it's definitely not the best for sure. I'm not really sure what the worst is. What do you think, Finnick?
I think it's Cloud. I think...
You think it's Cloud? Oh, man!
It's the most situational. It's good on very few select champions. I think the thing is, right, Ocean is good on everyone, Mountain is good on almost everyone. Infernal is good on less than everyone, but still on more people than Cloud Soul. The ultimate CDR
I think
is
it's
great.
Infernal. I think Infernal's the worst.
I think Infernal's the second worst, but I think Cloud is much more niche, right? The number of champions that can effectively use Cloud Soul is smaller than the number that can effectively use Infernal Soul. That is my argument.
Okay, that's a good argument. Demon trying to get away from Freshburger here.
Here comes the Slicing Maelstrom, gets a 2-man stun. Shot is looking for the way into the fight, gets a Q down onto Toast, though. Orion gonna be able to kite out, stunned up. Freshburger gonna get some damage down as the Haymaker comes through. Renivia is around, pops the ult, realizes no one's there, and move on to the Rift Herald. I will say, though, Anivia was like 12 CS down on the Azir in lane, now is pretty much back to even.
Yeah, back to even here. Reels.
Oh, flash knockup, gets on to one, pops the ultimate, looking for more. Flag and Drag, though, to get out of that one is set. Pops the Showstopper, tries to find the backline champions, as Toast gets the kill onto Reels. Now Shot flashing out of the fight, Orion flashing forward, gonna try to find some more damage, but he can't. Chrismeister ignited up, but he still gets the kill onto Toast. 1 for 1.
Yeah, that's a big kill too. I don't think, yeah, Toast hadn't died yet, so this is massive. Previously deathless, but now Reels, I mean, just so aggressive here. Now has 2 deaths, the most of anybody on Summer's Rift at the moment, but they also have a complete jungle item, so I don't know who's right.
Oh, Flag and Drag forward, they're trying to find onto Chrismeister. Beautiful wall to disengage. Demon is still here though, pops into the egg. Reels is around. They shouldn't be able to get the damage for the egg, but she needs to get a Q off without being CC'd. She gets it. Here comes the cannon. Demon goes down. Chrismeister on a killing spree, trading the junglers. That's 3 kills on an Anivia, guys.
Yeah, that's 3-0.
Yeah. Remember the last time Chrismeister went 3-0 on a late game scaling champion?
I do remember that, actually. I feel like that was recently.
So here's what's interesting here. Typically, you don't complete Archangels on Anivia, you go for Rod of Ages, but I like this here, because he could full buy Archangels and Boots at the 10-minute mark, which is insane. You're still going to be able to get Rod of Ages at a reasonable timing, but now you just have like all this mana and regen early, where typically you just get the regen and then like you don't care about the AP until you finish it. Now he's able to snowball harder. This is not what you typically do on Anivia, but I like the situational awareness.
Definitely. I mean, you got to be able to adapt and have that audible in your pocket, be able to do what the situation asks of you. But I'll be honest, I understand set support as a concept, but man, is it weird to look at. It's got like Hex Slash, it's got Ignite, Omnistone is insane to me. Also, Boots of Swiftness. I don't know what's going on, but I'm sure it's fine. Whatever is happening.
It's a tanky boy. Shot, meanwhile. Not gonna waste his. I keep on making Hamilton references. I apologize.
No, man. See, I'm not picking up on them. I've never seen Hamilton. Yeah, I don't even know what that is. It's a town in southern Ontario.
It's on Disney Plus.
Man, ain't nobody can afford. Do you know how much they pay us as casters? Disney Plus, my goodness.
Look, I'm not paying for my Disney Plus. That's my mom. Hold up.
Okay, all right, that's fair enough. Dragon started up here, buying world-class Outlaws.
Looking for the face call in, gets a 4-man knock up back into the ultimate. Kennan's already there with Slicing Maelstrom though, as he gets the kill, goes down, Emperor survived down, but he still gets caught by the Anivia flashing over the wall as Dibble is around, gonna try to get some damage down, double cover to Vladimir. He's trying to find his way on a Chris Meister. 3-4-1. Chris Meister should be able to kite out of this one if he's smart. Caught up by the Hemo Plague, pops the ulti, gets the kill on a Rampage. You can't dive in Anivia under tower like this, my friends. It's a 3-for-2, and the Dragon goes no one.
Yeah, Chrismeister stays deathless too. And we've seen this one here before as well. Playing with fire though.
Oh, here comes Freshbreaker off the TP, caught the Face Breaker, he goes down!
All right, so that is a summoner spell they use, I guess. That's
an oof.
Vision, everybody, please ward the bushes. Oh my goodness, now the Dragon is going down to Glaive all of a sudden, where before it was world class that had the fast, you let it reset! What are you doing? Okay, finally, eventually they take down, this is such a fiesta. Fennec, I don't know what's happening, but yeah, it is.
I mean, after 2 stomps from either of these teams, are we not entitled to a fiesta?
Yeah, no, they have to run it down now. It's only logical, it's only poetically just, but now it is 2 dragons that Glaive White have in their back pocket. Of course, just under 5 minutes until the next one. And folks, we have what is undisputably regarded as the most powerful Dragon Soul. It is from the Ocean Soul.
Yeah, no one's gonna scoff at an Ocean Soul.
Not even I.
not even Axeman, where 30% of his hot takes are just hot garbage, and the other 70% are not even hot takes. They're just lukewarm.
Worst takes.
30% are hot garbage. The rest are just lukewarm garbage. I mean, what?
No anyway. Good takes. 0.
Regardless, Anivia on the Catalyst here, gonna build in towards the Rod of Ages. Typically, you're looking at Rod of Ages 14 minutes on her, but as we said, completes the Archangel step instead of the Roa, gives her a bit more power spike. We saw that being used around this Dragon Pit, nearly equalizing the fight if it weren't for the cannon. Chris Meister, though, nice alt wall, gets the E down, waits for the Q, Sanguine Pool goes down, though. So Dibble gets out.
Yeah, Dibble walks away from this one. Prismeister on the prowl in the mid lane, and this has got to be spooky if you're Glaive, right? You're thinking, man, we have the advantage.
2 ults blown, but Freshburger gets the stun down on his Drew. Shurima Shuffle over flash back from Freshburger as the mid lane. Nivea just ults to clear the wave. Kennen stays alive.
Reel's off to the side, though. He's on the wrong side, unfortunately. Rift Herald is up, not Dragon. So maybe he's sitting in the wrong bush here, but I expect Glaive just pick this up uncontested. I don't really think there's any way that the Outlaws can get in on this, especially with Reels just continuing to be in the bottom side of the map.
And here's the thing, you have 2 late game team comps, each with their own fed member. However, there is a somewhat fed member at the Callista here, which is why we see a lot of this Glaive flash for flash now in the mid lane. Grismeister has the egg, right? So you just have to not take that for granted.
Absolutely, that's going to be a huge factor here. You mentioned the 2 fed carries versus the 1. And if he gets the egg off, that's 2 lives. That's a second win. So it is almost like having 2 carries.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Almost.
Anivia Q doesn't actually stun the Rift Herald. It's a feels bad, man. As an Anivia player, I'm just like, why? Why can't I stop this from charging? You can use wall to displace him as he winds up the charge, though. Maybe something Grismeister wasn't like prepared to do or didn't want to do because wall's just such a good utility ability. But alas, mid lane tower goes down. First break, a bit late in the game, actually, 16 minutes. So pace of the game feels like it's very up tempo. 3k up is Glaive. But as far as non-neutral objectives are concerned, still fairly slow. You still get farming going on in this bot lane. Aphelios is down 20 CS though.
Yeah, I mean, here's one for you. There's only been 1 structure take against the mid lane turret here for the Outlaws, so that is in and of itself says to me that there has just been an incredible amount of back and forth, with neither side really pulling out an advantage, or at least a big enough one to be able to look to push down turrets. The Rift Herald, and really the only thing separating the 2 in terms of structure damage, it's really just been dragons from Glaive.
Yeah, and Dibble ends up taking the top lane turret as we speak, so Caster cursed our own statements here. It's all right. Ocean Dragon up in 45 seconds, hereabouts. This has to be contested by World Class, because they can't actually contest if it goes to a soul point here from Glaive. I mean, if they do, like if they wait it out and not contest this one, like it becomes a must contest and a do or die fight. Whereas if they contest this one and lose it, like it's not do or die, they can recover. That's what I'm thinking. I'm probably wrong.
Oh yeah, no, the Caster Curse. It's there for everybody. Dibble gets absolutely chunked here by the Anivia.
This is why I love Anivia in the blood.
This is a filthy bird, man.
This is why I love Anivia in the blood.
I
mean, it is Black Frost Anivia. That is Corrupted Ice. Toast on a shot, though. Has Rend available. TP being channeled here. As the Zero turret self-destructs. Here comes the Flag and Drag, looking for more. Hemo Plague back into the back line as the Cataclysm lands, but they're split up. The fight not going in their favor. Demon goes down. Reels picks up the kill. Now looking for more. The stone lands. Fresh Burger coming in with a slicing Maelstrom. Gets some damage down, but the Haymaker does the shielding. Toast on a Fresh Burger. They get more damage in. Toast! That's insane! Alongside Stro 2 with the triple kill. Grismeister, the last member of his team alive, once again puts the ult down. Under wall, looking for more. Onto Orion. Gets kicked out, but he gets the kill anyway!
I can't believe it, man.
Back into the egg form, and Glaive can't take this.
Who wins this fight? It's not over yet. Grismeister still wants a piece of Glaive.
I mean, if he can get on to Toast, he's down. There's the wall, the kill!
Oh!
The shutdown as the TB comes down! And he started up. He's fully healed. He's like, thanks for the free heal, guys. And now here comes Freshburger looking on the Stro 2. He gets out. I think that's Dragon.
I think it's Dragon as well. And Freshburger with the teleport there gets a lot of movement speed, but is not able to activate Phase Rush on to Stro, so isn't going to be able to catch him there at the end of the day. But yeah, this should be Dragon, excuse me, as Reels is now on the scene, and there will be no contest from Glaive. Now it's going to be at least a 5 Dragon game here, as finally World Class Esports is able to pick one up.
And you wonder why I one-tricked the bird. All right.
Yeah, hey man, if you're making plays like that, you can play whatever you want.
Oh, glorious bird.
Yep.
Anyways,
stuff.
should be able to back and grab the Rod of Ages. 2,200 gold here. Just sitting on a Catalyst. Gonna go ahead and grab a blue buff for herself as Kathy starts working towards this bot lane tower.
for sure, and they're probably going to get this one down, I'd imagine. But here's Stro.
Oh, but he's in a 1v3. Real's looking for more. The Aphelios gets the ultimate through the Emperor's Divide, and the shutdown lands.
Man, Aphelios, I'll go ahead and admit this to everybody watching at home. Totally forgot there was Aphelios in this game. I don't know what that says about me as a caster, but you can go ahead and infer what you like. It's Orion looking for Freshburger here in the top.
There comes Dibble as well. Freshburger pops a slicing maelstrom, able to get a nice stun down. Moves back in to become invulnerable for the time being. Orion goes ahead and uses the Haymaker. Mid turret did go down, so that's a T2 down at the very least, as some compensation. But the bird now has the Rod of Ages. Already has the first bit of Leandries, opted for the Blasting Wand instead of the Hunting Guys first, because you can just full buy that. But yeah, should be going from Leandries Torment next item, and then finally Zonia's and Deathcap. But I love Anivia's when they get ahead. I love Anivia. Can you tell I love Anivia? I love Anivia.
I can't, to be honest. I mean, you probably have to say it more. Maybe I'll start picking up on it. But yeah, Chrismeister having a huge Anivia game here. They are rushing it down. Mid lane, they're definitely taking this one. Aphelios dealing so much structure damage, but Orion Demon are here to back up the defenses, and the push is mitigated for the time being. Strellis back off as well, as they don't have Tracky on the jungler anymore. Never mind. Stro says, I'm going in, baby. He wants that structure.
I mean, Orion popped Predator and wasn't able to grab anything from it, which feels bad, man. But I will say, for Omnistone, Predator just feels so good. Like, having played a bit of Omnistone Twisted Fate, like, holy crap, that's fun. Meanwhile, though, bot lane turret goes down. Glaive's still up 4K. So despite the fact that we're talking about this in Anivia, she's only about 200 gold up on, now no longer up on Stro 2. So we're looking at this. You need to execute perfectly on your team fight, and Freshburger needs to get his Zonia's Hourglass as soon as possible.
Absolutely. Orion is bot lane here, too. It will be a 2v1 in the fight.
Channeling, Hex Flash over the wall, getting the flash, wall down, and Orion kites out. Here comes Reels, though, on the Dibble, knock-up lands. Here comes the stun. The Rek'Sai ultimate going to be mitigated by the Sanguine Pool as the mid lane fight breaks out. Braum pops the ultimate. Demon with the ult himself onto Kathy, pops the ultimate, tries to get out, but it's too little too late. The Facebreaker, but Chrismeister's already here. The wall and the ultimate, but he's caught up by Stro 2. He goes down into the egg. Toast does the damage. That's it. The shutdown for the Azir, and that's a 3-for-1 in favor of Glaive White.
Literally disaster here for the Outlaws and for Chrismeister, giving over all of that shutdown gold to the enemy carry. Now 634 in the Azir. We take a look at the individual gold. I'm sure it's broken 10,000. It has almost 11,000 now. Absolutely massive on the Emperor Shurima.
Yeah, you gotta be careful about those Emperor's Divides when you go in with the ult wall. Like, it was a really good ult wall, but Stro 2 had the perfect flank there. Emperor's Divider and Anivia back into the team and interrupting the ult. Just really well done. We see the dragon spawning here in about 40 seconds. So hopefully this will be another fight. World-class Outlaws need to contest pretty much all the rest of these dragons, which kind of sucks when you just had a bad team fight and you don't have Freshburger on the Zonia's Hourglass. You could delay contesting until Soul Point, but that gets dangerous as well.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It not only does it suck you have to contest all the dragons, but you also have to contest ocean dragons, which feel terrible to take if you're nowhere near a dragon soul. Like, if you're like 15-20 minutes out from a dragon soul, ocean dragons post 20 minutes feel god awful. Like, you literally do not need regen for anything. You're gonna run to the next objective,
they have
fight over
though.
it. I mean, no, like, regen is fine, but like late game you don't need regen, because what are you regenning between?
Fair enough. Orion gets a Facebreaker down as Reels finds his way onto Toast. Aphelios pops a Moonlight Vigil, gets some damage down. Toast goes down very low. Freshburger into the backline. He finds it onto Toast. The shot pops. The stopwatch. Here comes the Anivia though with the wall, disrupting the fight. The Orion going to try to make his way out as Reels gets a kill on the demon. Orion falls, but so does the Rek'Sai.
Rampage.
Yikes,
On a rampage. 3-3.
This is definitely the dragon, I would say, for Glaive. No jungle is up, so no smite, but You know, you got Stro and Dibble. That's enough damage in and of themselves. They do take it down. Soul point here for Glaive. And it is Stro who's pathing for the mid lane. Gabby's got to be careful. Ooh. We're going to shuffle there into the mid lane. Kathy's already gone, though. And it might be Glaive looking for the Baron next, I would say. They definitely have the map pressure for it. And I got to point out something we were talking about in the early game was Demon and kind of making sure that they stayed disciplined with the build path. They definitely have done that. Cinderhawk, the enchantment, into Gargoyle Stoneplate. This is a perfect J4 build. 26 minutes, doing very well.
Yeah, and Anivia, meanwhile, fairly close to the Leandries, about 700 gold off the combined cost. Kennen, meanwhile, is 900 off of... not 900, he's about 400 off of the Zonias himself. Needs to be able to get the stopwatch as Orion just steals that one away. Feels bad, man, on the Anivia, not able to get the blue buff.
Yeah, definitely. That does suck. I don't think Ken has a stopwatch, so I think he might be like, yeah, so he's pretty far off there. But yeah, both teams kind of posturing around. Baron for the time being. It's Glaive that has the vision control.
Ryan, back.
It's supportal combat.
Yeah, it's not your typical set damage, I'll tell you that much. Has the Dead Man's Plate. I am interested to see what the set will build next. I really like Sterex Gauge on set, even if you're playing support. I feel like it's just a really good item. Lifeline is OP, don't at me. Meanwhile, Aphelios, now on the 2 items. Callista is a little bit further ahead at the moment as far as items are concerned, but does have a Negatron Cloak. So should be going into... That doesn't build in the Maw, does it?
I don't think so.
I don't.
But maybe.
Wait, no, that's a not an Asher's Tooth.
Wit's End?
That's a Wit's End. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's recurve bow and
full on hit toast.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah.
You're up against Anivia, and it's the on-hit MR item, so feels nice.
Definitely.
Gotta be careful. A lot of damage.
Gotta be very careful. Glaive briefly starts up Baron, and then they back off of it, deciding better of it. They do have the Callista, so they literally need just a few seconds to be able to take this here at 28 minutes. Wall coming through.
Stroke 2 not gonna pop the Banshee's Veil there. Feels bad. The wall didn't actually get the ult damage down. Unfortunately, here comes Real Stuff finding his way on a Dibble. Slicing Maelstrom as the Sanguine Pool comes out. He's channeling. He's going to try to get out of this one. He's almost stunned up, but here comes the flash over the wall. Back into the Callista ultimate. He goes. Real pumps the ultimate.
Here comes
Goes down so low. Here comes Stro too, and he's unstoppable. 9, 3, and 4. They're on to the Baron.
Yep, and like we previously mentioned, this will be a real short Baron for him between Azir and Callista. Game over. Just the 2 of them on it now. Here comes the rest of the team. And watch it go down, folks.
Yeah,
sayonara.
Just sit and watch. Plus side Anivia has Leandries on the back.
Yeah, and the Rens. Disgusting. Yeah.
Leandries remain completed for the Anivia. The Zoni's Hourglass finally completed on First Burger on the Kennen. So this is kind of, you either win a fight now or you just roll over and die.
Definitely.
I hate to say it like that, but Freshburger needs to get the perfect flank, slicing Maelstrom Zonia's combo.
Absolutely, and they've been looking for that most of the game, just haven't been able to really find a solid one. Got a couple of good ults, but didn't end up really winning them a lot of these fights here. But yeah, definitely that's what they need at this stage of the game, is just really good positioning from Kriz, which they can normally count on, but also just a great play from Freshburger. I also think Kathy might have something to say about this next fight. We haven't seen Kathy in too many of these fights, so hopefully they start to come online here in a little bit.
Is almost a full item down on the Callista, though. Also buys an Executioner's Calling, trying to deal with Dibble a little bit more. This is one of those games where you just kind of have to build Morales on Anivia. As bad as it feels after the Leandries, Morales feels like total garbage on it. But you just kind of got to build Morellos, you got to build your XX. It is what it is. These what it is, as the meme would say.
Absolutely,
spawning.
dragon spawning. It's just 5 seconds now.
Dibble,
Ooh.
Caught by the wall. Doesn't have Sanguine Pool. Needs to find the flank. Cannon, Chris Meister. Trying to zone off Dibble. If you can get Dibble out of the fight. The Baron, it melts, but here comes the Showstopper. It's not able to get the steal. The soul goes over. Slice and Maelstrom into the zone. His Hourglass. The Demon gets a dunk down. Gets one. Gets another. Double kill. Looks for more. The set falls, but at what cost? He doesn't even fall. That's what the cost is. Chris Meister gonna go down here as well. And it's a 4-0. Soul, make that the ace. World-class Outlaws might actually just march for the end here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Glaive just kind of ends the game. At this stage, they have so much structure damage with the Callista there. And, yeah, Demon picking up the double kill in the last side of the game, I think it's hilarious, a 30-minute game. But, yeah, Ocean Soul do that to you there, Finnick. And this is going to be the end of the tournament.
Yeah, World-Class Outlaws, July Midweight Glaive White, I should say. July Midweight Invitational Champions. They're gonna get the clout for that one. Coming in from the 8th seed, only qualifying off of 2 points, but they showed they're a very strong team. Unfortunately, weren't able to participate last week, and that's why they ended up getting 0 there, but really solid play from Glaive White throughout the night. 2 stomps and then this game, which felt like it was going to be a slow burn and then just broke open for them. Really well played from Glaive White. Any final words before we throw it over to our analyst desk?
I just want to congratulate Glaive on running the gauntlet here. Literally 8th seed. Their very first match this game was against 1st seed. I think winning that game would have, if I were on Glaive, made me proud of our accomplishments tonight. Now they win the whole tournament. Now they just go home and win the whole thing. But on some pretty crazy champions too. It's not like they just got a W on Garen or something. You got a Zir, Callista. These are very difficult to execute champions, and yeah, they pulled the W out in spite of themselves. Absolutely insane here tonight.
Yeah, and all that being said, we're going to go ahead and hand this over to our analyst desk. Once again, my name is Finnick. That's Axman87. Your analysts are Smax and Paul. And guys, take it away.
Thank you, Finnick, and what an incredible tournament here that we had this evening here, Smacks. And honestly, I mean, we sort of saw it coming once Glaive got the ball rolling. I mean, 8th seed, but they changed that in a heartbeat and able to just steamroll this final one.
Yeah, we kind of knew from that first game that they weren't really rightfully so the bottom seed in this bracket. They looked super solid coming out in that game number 1. Their team play was top-notch. Very, very nice stuff out of them. Their drafting was quite nice as well. Specifically in that last game that we just saw, their scaling was super on point with that Vladimir and the Azir coming in. And yeah, I'm very impressed with this team, Glaive White, especially considering they were just put together just 3 weeks ago, Paul.
Yeah, absolutely. And you would never think it, right? I mean, the synergy that we saw throughout and the plays that they made together. I mean, I wanted to highlight Stro on the Azir in that last game, right? Those Emperor's Divides really making a difference in several of those team fights, and the synergy there just playing itself out.
Yeah, the mid matchup was rather close, though. I gotta say, Chris was pretty powerful on that Anivia. On those bot lane turret dive attempts, did not stop him either time. And yeah, I was pretty impressed with his Anivia, even though he did get a very, very late Rod of Ages, later than is usually recommended, I will say. So just putting that out there. The game ended before his Rod of Ages fully stacked, so maybe think about that next time, Chris. But yeah, the mid laners were definitely the highlight of this game here, and Strope picking up that win on the Azir. Pretty impressive, especially considering his champion that he had played both other games, the Orianna, got banned away from him.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. I was like, wait a second, we saw him on the Ori earlier, but it's sort of a jack of all trades. They're able to just pick up the Azir like nothing's going on.
Yeah.
And I think that was super well done. Now, early on from the other side, GG's Outlaws getting in the finals in the first place, and you loved what you were seeing from Realist at the beginning.
Yeah, I was. I was pretty impressed with this Rek'Sai. You know, he was able to blow the flashes of both solo laners in lanes that I highlighted before that were really difficult to get a gank off on. You know, he's got his shuffle to get on out of there. The Vladimir's got his pool, but he was able to land 2 very successful ganks. One of them getting him first blood, even. And yeah, that's exactly what you want to see on the Rek'Sai. But Rek'Sai is just one of those champions where if you don't completely take over the game by 20 minutes, you're no longer going to exist. And that's exactly what we saw. It's pretty unfortunate that that's how Rek'Sai works, because I think the champion's really cool. But yeah, he just couldn't make it work after a certain point. Did get outscaled, unfortunately.
And we saw Demon flex as well, swapping over. We saw the volley on stream to start the evening off, and just unstoppable. And on the J4, a lot of really smart setups. I mean, that combination of Devil and Demon we highlighted at the top, they had played together before the construction of Glaive White, and that synergy paying off. I don't believe, unless it happened at the end, Dibble died that entire game, and Demon just
I
had
don't think he did, yeah.
a lot of great setups.
Yeah, I really like the way that they've been playing on the stream with the sort of island gameplay here in the top lane for Dibble. They have a lot of plays that they make with the jungle mid and then the bot lane duo as well, setting things up, and then they just let Dibble play on that island, scale up to his heart's content on the Fiora, on the Vladimir, and on that Volibear in game 2 as well. I really like their team play, and yeah, congratulations to them for winning this one as well. Well-deserved victory for our 8 seed here, Glaive White, taking the entire Invitational by storm.
Yeah, absolutely. And GG's to everyone that participated tonight. I know, just to wrap up on final thoughts here, Toast played exceptionally well throughout as well. I know we didn't totally touch on the ADCs in that final matchup, but I thought Toast had a great tournament throughout. That Callista
Yeah.
pick paid off really well.
It really
So
did.
that was awesome. And any final thoughts from you on either of these teams around the tournament?
Yeah, for sure. Toast, very impressive. I really liked all of these players here, but Toast really gets like the sort of under the radar appreciation award for me. He was not the focus of any of the games, at least on this stream. I know that he did get a 12 kill misfortune game on XLNC Esports too, but over here, as far as the games that we've been talking about, he was definitely the support staff for his team on the Ashe, and then on this Callista, setting up those plays with Orion set was quite impressive. So shout out to all 5 members here for Glaive White for sure. Very well-deserved victory. I'm proud of the boys over here.
Yeah, they were awesome here. And so with that, we'll start wrapping up. We're going to send you over to Upsurge Esports here. So they've got some more league action going on there. So your night might just be getting started with Amateur League of Legends. So for myself, Paul, for Smacks, for our awesome casters tonight, Axeman87 and Finnick doubling up on the producing and streaming as well. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on Thursday for Heavyweight League. We'll see you then.